Welcome to Well Rounded. I'm your host, Tiffany Parker. Hello, everybody. I am so excited. We have a guest this week. Her name is Lucy. She was so nice to come over to my apartment and be a guest on the podcast. So, Lucy, introduce yourself.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. That was really, really nice of you to ask me. But yeah, my name is Lucy. I am a mom. I'm a stay-at-home mom, but I'm also an entrepreneur. I own a business with my husband. I'm a personal stylist. I have like a small social media presence, so
It's decent, you guys. She's being humble.
It's really
it's
not.
pretty
I
decent.
think all my friends are like influencers, and so
Yeah.
I learn a lot from them. But also,
Yeah.
I'm just your average Joe. But yeah, I like to make money a lot, and so
Same.
anything I can do, I'm like, how can I make money today?
What
I
is
like to
your?
do
I
that.
didn't realize you ran it with your husband. What's it called?
Yes, it's called Moby
Moby
Thrift. Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, me and my husband do that, and then he has a business. He has 2 other jobs. I've just always been like that since we got married. We are always starting things and working and trying to make money, and both of us have the same goals and passions. So that's just kind of who we are. But
That's awesome.
yeah, so I love thrifting. I have a degree in fashion merchandising, so fashion has been like such a huge interest of mine. It's like the one thing that has remained interesting
Really?
and not just I've hyperfixated on, because
Yeah.
so many things come and go
Yes.
for me with ADHD, and that has stayed.
Yeah.
And I just barely started like taking on clients for personal styling again in the last few months, so it's been fun. So that's just a little bit about me, my interests.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's so cool. I follow the Moby Thrift account as well because I was like into that. How did that get started?
So I started Moby Thrift in college.
Okay.
And in my very last class that I took, we had to create a business. That was like what we had to do to graduate. So everyone created their own business, and I created Moby Thrift. And when I was in fashion school, I started learning about the fashion industry, and I learned about fast fashion, and basically vowed to never take part in it as much as I could. It's really hard to be 100%. And so I just said, I'm going to thrift as much as I can. I'm going to like spread the word forever. That's my life's mission, is to put an end to fast fashion, which will never happen. But I do think that even me just talking about it for the last 10 years has made people aware, and people will come up to me and say, I've been thrifting because of you. And so I think it makes a small difference. Unfortunately, nothing we do in our day-to-day life can really make that big of a change, but maybe eventually big if thrifting catches on with everyone. But anyways, so I just became obsessed with shopping secondhand and the thrift world, and so I was like, okay, that's the business I'm going to create is Moby Thrift. And it was called Moby because it was going to be in a trailer, so it was going to be mobile. And so it was MOBI for like a little mobile thrift store.
Yeah.
And so the original business plan was to do it in an Airstream trailer and just gut it and just travel around the country, because me and my husband just got married. So we were newlyweds with not a care in the world. We're like, let's travel everywhere, and we'll park it wherever, and we'll sell, and we'll thrift in every town that we go to, and we'll resell. And reselling was really rare, and this was not 8 or 9 years ago. Super rare, and no one really had an online thrift store. There was places like ThredUp and obviously eBay and Etsy and Depop, but to have a small little online thrift store, we were one of the very first in Utah. At least I can't speak for other states, but we realized how hard it was to get a permit to park somewhere and sell something unless you're a food truck. So that dream quickly died, but we were like, I graduated and we got married, and I still had this business plan made from top to bottom, and he was like, well, let's do something with it. And so we created Moby Thrift, and it was an online thrift store. And so we just started thrifting. Basically, our motto was, we'll thrift for you so that you can thrift from your couch. So that you can just scroll and you don't have to dig. You don't have to dig through anything at the thrift store, which is everyone's biggest problem. Is just digging through like the BYU Idaho t-shirts, the 5K t-shirts, and that's why nobody wants to thrift. And so we're like, well, we love it, so we'll do it for you. So we bought the best of the best stuff, put it on our website. We shot it in our little basement apartment, and then from there we got into sneakers and streetwear and vintage, because at first we weren't selling vintage. We were just selling good used clothes. They could have been from H&M, but just anything somewhat stylish we were selling for a better price than you could get it at H&M. Nice. And just to cut out fast fashion as much as we could. And so then we got into streetwear, sneakers, vintage, more rare vintage. And so then our prices, when our demographic changed a little bit, we're selling a super rare Carhartt jacket for like $400, and it sells because that's people in the resale world are looking for that. Right. Someone who just wants to buy an H&M t-shirt isn't going to buy that, but our demographic kind of changed. So, and then we were like, well, this is fun and it's great, but it's not a money maker because you're selling one item and then it's gone, and you're putting all this work into one item and you just have one of it. So we're like, we need to make something. And so we did make a t-shirt. It was like
that spice.
No. So this was it was called the Fight the Storm tee, and all of our t-shirts have been based off of a vintage tee because we want to keep it timeless and just keep the vintage feel, because we love vintage so much. And so we made a very limited run. I think it was 200 shirts, and they sold out. We had it at like pop-ups. They sold out, and we never made those again. So if anyone has one in the world, you have a very rare artifact.
That's awesome.
And then we were like, okay, we have to do this again on a bigger scale. And that's when we made the Princess Diana shirt.
Okay.
And so that, I mean, completely changed our lives. So we have vintage on our website. It's not our main focus anymore. And that was by accident. The Diana just started selling so it went completely viral. Right. And so that's all we really had time for. And so we've been selling the Diana shirt for 4 years and nothing else.
Shut up.
We made that in 2020. And so then literally a few months ago, we were like, it's time for another shirt. So we made the Spice Girl shirt. Okay. And so that's kind of the brief history of Moby Thrift, with lots of other businesses in between. But that's Moby Thrift for you. That
is so cool. And so I love that like your husband is on board with that with you. And so he also likes thrifting.
Oh yeah. I don't think he used to. His taste has changed, but in the beginning days, like, he was in the thrift stores with me. He has a more expensive taste now that he's been introduced to vintage designer, vintage streetwear. So he doesn't thrift ever now. I haven't even thought about that, but he doesn't thrift. But I still, like, if I could go every single day, I would. Really? I still live at the thrift store. That's and it's awesome. My favorite thing in the whole world. So.
And is it a specific thrift store? Like, is it DI or is it like
literally anything?
Okay.
If I have a free day, I'm thrifting. If I'm in a different town, I'm at a thrift store. Okay. If I'm out of the country, I'm thrifting. Like, it's my number one priority of my life after my child.
That's a good hierarchy there.
Yeah. My kid and then thrifting.
Yeah, that's good. That's awesome. That's so cool. Yeah, I feel very overwhelmed.
It
by
is
thrifting.
You have to have a certain skill set and interest.
Yeah.
Because
and like in a solid amount of time.
Oh
right?
Yeah. It is. Yeah. It's a privilege to even be able to thrift because it takes so much time and it's just not fun for so many people. Yeah. But now there's so many online options that like it's I
am not in the thrifting community. Yeah. I am the poor people Walmart community, Walmart, Target. That's awesome though. That's so cool. Yeah, I see your shirts everywhere, and I'm like, that's just
so cool to see them at the airport in different states, different countries. Really? Like, it's so, I feel so grateful. That's like awesome. It never gets old ever.
Yeah. So did the Diana shirts go viral like right away?
No, it probably took 2 years.
Okay.
2 years of pretty normal sales, pretty consistent, still selling vintage, still doing a lot of pop-ups. And we had a brick and mortar store in Provo for a year. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So that was our main focus for a year. And then I had my daughter, and then our lease was up at the exact same time. So we were like, that was so fun, and it was like a bucket list item. But now we have a kid, and I'm not doing both.
Yeah, totally.
So
and like I would assume that real estate in Provo is kind of like weird or hard.
It was a very interesting situation how we got our spot. It was in this old sawmill, and there were lots of different businesses throughout. There was it's called Rugged Grounds Coffee. Okay. And they were like connected to each other, and then also a tattoo shop, and then also a like a cut and sew warehouse in the back. It was a very quirky place, and rent was super cheap. Oh, that's nice. And we did a bunch of renovations because I had my own other business at the time that I also had in there, and I renovated the whole space. So it was very unique, and it was so cool. Like the best year. I loved it. Loved it. Like the funnest memories ever.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And it's always just been me and my husband. We've never, like, still 8 years later, it's just us two.
That is impressive.
Yeah. That's trying to keep overhead low. And it's been, I mean, selling one t-shirt, it's pretty easy. And we have family help with shipping when we need to. And we don't even do our own shipping anymore. Our manufacturer does.
Oh,
and
that's
they're in
nice.
Utah. Yeah. Our shirts are made in Utah. So
that's super nice.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's nice that that's local. That's so fun.
Yeah.
That's great. That is such a cool background story. I never would have even guessed at that in my wildest imagination.
Yeah, it's so I'm really grateful for all the experiences.
That's awesome. Okay, so one of my favorite questions I like to ask people is, what is a common misconception people make about your job? Now, obviously, you're like a serial entrepreneur or whatever, but
yeah, I know.
And you dabble in a bunch of things. So I think for you, there are a lot of misconceptions about both of my jobs that I have, and so I just am so curious. Like, what is something that like drives you crazy that you're like, this is not actually how it goes?
That's a good question, Kate. I actually have an answer because I've been thinking about this.
And it can be about any of the things.
Yes, yeah. Matter. So when it comes to personal styling, it's really hard for me to share my opinions about what I prefer when it comes to getting dressed and personal style, because people take it very personally. And so I did a Q&A where I was like, let me know your questions about fashion and I'll be brutally honest. And I just knew I had to give a disclaimer, like, just because I'm saying this, you're not in trouble. It's not Bible. It's just my opinion. You can keep doing it if you want to. And people still are like, but wait, I do this. Like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, it's okay. It's just my opinion. Yes. Keep doing it. It's totally fine. And so that happens. I get scared to share my opinion because I never want anyone to feel bad, because my approach is very much I want you to wear what you want. If you're uncomfortable with what you have in your closet and you don't like how you dress, I'm here to help you. If you love how you dress, I'm not going to tell you what to change. Like, that's all that matters, is that you like what you're wearing and you're 100% happy. I'll never tell you to do something different if you don't want me to. And so I think people feel personally attacked when I'm just like, it's just my opinion that I would never wear Uggs or Crocs in public. Like, you can keep doing it.
That I think was your big one. It got like a lot of feedback.
The Uggs, the Crocs, the French tuck of the shirt. Yeah, I still am getting people like, what do I do instead? I'm like, you can just keep doing it. It's okay. Yeah. I don't have to stop.
It was really cute for a while.
Yes.
Like, I remember when it was big, and then I feel like it just stopped. Yeah. All of a sudden.
Yeah. And people are like, what do I do? I'm like, just don't.
Yeah.
If you don't want, just
leave it out.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Oh, amazing. That was such a great answer. Okay, you already told us how you got into fashion. What led to like the consultation work? Was that just another hustle, or like did it start with some friends?
Yeah, so I did personal styling when I was in college.
Okay. And where did you go to college? Sorry, for fashion?
Salt Lake Community College. They're the only college that offers a fashion program in Utah.
Oh, cool.
And it's amazing. And it's a community college, so it's really, affordable for school.
Totally.
No student loans or anything.
Well, especially compared to like the fashion schools. Yes, yeah. Those are like insane.
I know. So I feel like Utah has a really good fashion program, and I made incredible connections, people that I still talk to and work with today. Like, so many. You'd be surprised. I didn't think the fashion world in Utah was huge, but we have fashion shows every quarter. Like there's
That's
a huge community. So
Cool. Okay. So what led to the
I was
consultation
personal
work?
styling in college, and then I started working a 9 to 5. I didn't really have time for that anymore, and then I was doing Moby on the side, and I didn't know really how to make money at that. I was doing a lot for free. I was doing a lot for trade, and that was just kind of the culture of Utah. Like, hey, will you style this entire shoot, and I'll shout you out on Instagram. And of course, when you're building your portfolio, you'll do anything.
Right.
But then it never grew from there just because I didn't really know how. And so I felt okay leaving that behind and kind of moving on to my career. And then my daughter I just felt recently that I've been in a good place where I have time to take something else on. And I have a separate Instagram account. I have a Patreon with a podcast and a separate Instagram that people pay for, which was very delusional to begin with. Because again, my audience was it was half the size it was when I started my Patreon.
Yeah.
But I knew people liked following me. And I was like, I want to make money posting on Instagram because I'm really good at it.
Yeah.
But my account isn't growing a lot. And I just eyes just aren't getting on me. So I'm going to start a Patreon and see if people will pay to follow me. And they did. And they still do.
Awesome.
Like I'll open it up every month and people will join. And it's like the best thing ever. So something I started offering on my Patreon was I would choose someone and I would do personal styling for them because I wanted to practice.
Cool.
And so I would do it for free for them because they're already paying me the monthly fee for my Patreon.
Right.
And I was like, well, this is a fun bonus and it'll be really good practice for me. And so I started doing that on my Patreon until I felt comfortable accepting paying clients. And it was, I mean, it's so scary to try something new and I hadn't done styling in so long. I was like, do I still got it? Like, can I still do this? And it's been so good. And I've been booked for the last I'm booked 4 months out.
Really?
And so it's just crazy. Like it went better than I could have imagined. So I'm just really learning to trust myself and my skills. Like you can do it. Like I just don't be scared. Just trust yourself. So it's been really good learning experience. So that's kind of how I started personal styling.
Okay, cool. So can you walk us through what a personal styling session kind of looks like?
Yes.
Obviously it's unique to the person, right? But
so I do virtual and in person. So I'll just talk you through an in person. A virtual one is not that different. I can't meet with you. So I have you make a Pinterest and I work a lot with Pinterest because there's just so much I can learn from someone, especially when they don't know their own personal style. So I have them pin anything that catches their eye. And then I send them a list of questions to answer before we meet in person. So I can kind of get a feel for them and what I'm working with. And then we meet in person and I do a full closet clean out and we go through every single piece of clothing together. We do a donate pile. We do a storage pile because I believe in saving things for your future kids or so that you'll have something vintage one day. I think it's okay to hang on to things. I love it. I have boxes of stuff that I've held on to. And
clothes you could repurpose into something else, like a bag or a blanket.
Exactly. Yeah. I think especially if I've thrifted it and it's so meaningful to me, I'm not gonna get rid of it even though I don't wear it anymore. My child might want it one day. So
I do that with all of the shirts I get when I travel. I always get a shirt when I travel. It's just a t-shirt, but it says London on it with the eye, you know what I mean? And so
it'll be vintage one day.
I know. And so I want to make a blanket of all of the places I've traveled
I love that.
to. So
also concerts, everyone buy a shirt at every concert you go to.
Absolutely.
Everybody. Yeah. I regret every shirt I have not bought at a concert, but so we do a full closet clean out and then I have them make a pile of things that they really like but they don't know how to wear and I take a picture of it and then I do a full digital booklet for them and a full list of things that I think they should add to their closet and it's all links so they can just click on it. Cool. And if they don't want to buy from the link and because if they want to thrift or something then it's just kind of an idea of something like this, like a brown boot of some sort you should add to your closet. Doesn't have to be this exact one. So I do the list of all the links and then I do a picture, a big collage of everything. And then I do 10 outfits that I've put together with other outfit inspiration so they can kind of see other ways to style things. And then I just do kind of tips throughout the booklet of things catered to them because everyone is so different. Things that they feel like they're struggling with. And I just kind of write out advice and include lots of pictures, and it's all digital so that they can always go to it when they're shopping or refer back to it whenever they need to on their phone. So that's kind of what that looks like.
So do you just like type it up and it's like a booklet, or is it?
I use Canva, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so it's like a presentation that they can kind of swipe through.
Oh, you use the Canva page. Okay,
yes,
cool.
yeah. And so everything, it's like a collage on every page kind of with some text throughout. So
oh, that's so nice. That's way better than I was picturing in my head.
I can show you an example.
We'll have to read a book.
No, yeah. I'm very much
like,
a picture girl,
not.
and so it's mostly pictures and not a lot of reading. Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, that's super cool. And so when did you start the consultation work stuff? Like just fairly recently?
Yeah, on my Patreon I started in the summer, probably like 6 months ago. Okay. And then I started accepting clients in December.
Nice.
Might have been November, but it's sometime just like a few months ago.
Nice. And how many clients do you usually do you feel like you can handle?
I try to do 3 a month.
Oh, okay.
Because
you're booked 4 months out.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, girl.
Thank
Go
you. Thank you so much. I mean, I worked with one of my friends who's a huge influencer, and I think that really, I'm so grateful for her. I think that really helped get more eyes on me. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I have had the most amazing clients. I love them so much. I just feel like I've become friends with them, and I've always wanted a client-based job because it feels so personal and meaningful. Yeah. Because I've had 9-to-5 jobs. I've worked for big companies before, and working one-on-one with someone is so amazing.
It's so fulfilling.
I love it. And you're a voice coach, so you feel the same.
Yeah, exactly. I could never, no disrespect to choir teachers, but that is not my journey.
So true. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Yeah.
Yeah, usually that's what people think of with teaching, and I'm like, no, I am a private gal.
Yes.
Because for the same reasons that you said, I ask them, how is their week? How is school going? Some of them have high school teenage drama that I live for.
Oh my gosh, yeah, totally.
And so, yeah, it's super fun and super fulfilling because I have another job as well, but yeah, it's fun to help them grow and help them gain confidence, as I'm sure you experience too.
Yes.
And they're mastering their voices, and they're like, oh, I know exactly what's gonna come out when I open my mouth. And with you, I'm sure it's I am excited to get dressed in the morning, or whatever.
It's so meaningful.
Yeah, it's so much fun. And I totally agree. Okay, so on that note, fashion can be kind of overwhelming and frustrating. I know for me, I love black. And
I mean, you're talking to the right girl.
I know. And I have to wear black a lot for my other job too. And but man, I swear so many people comment on how much I just wear black. And I'm like, okay, stay in your lane. But so it's very frustrating sometimes. So what is the number one piece of advice you would give someone who is wanting to try and upgrade, or maybe just gain a little bit more confidence that they could maybe do on their own? Is there a staple piece that you're this looks good on everyone, or just one piece of advice you could give to someone who's a little overwhelmed or doesn't know where to start?
I think that getting dressed is just like any other hobby. You have to practice, and it might feel weird and uncomfortable at first, but I mean, practice makes perfect. Just like anything new you're trying, when you're trying a different style, you're wearing something new, you're learning how to dress your body type. I have a lot of clients who have recently lost a lot of weight or gained a lot of weight, and they don't know how to dress their new body. And that is so hard to not feel comfortable in your own skin. And then you don't even know what to wear to feel and look your best. And so it just takes practice. It's gonna feel weird. You might feel like you're wearing a costume at first. If some people say this feels really uncomfortable because this is nothing like what I have worn before, but then they put it on and then everyone is complimenting them and they're like, oh my gosh, okay, this does look good. I do look my best right now. And because of that, they start feeling on top of the world and they feel their best. So it really just takes a few times and doing it scared. it is scary to wear something new.
Yeah.
It feels awkward sometimes.
Yeah.
But
especially if you've been dressing like one way
one
for
way,
a while.
yes, yeah.
And then people are like, what's wrong with you?
I know. Like, what's happening here?
Are you unwell? You know? Yeah.
But if you know like how to do it
Mm-hmm.
and you're looking your best, you'll only receive compliment. No one's gonna be like, what is she wearing? Unless you're wearing something super weird. You might get some looks. But
Yeah.
if you're wearing something normal and it's a little bit just more elevated than what people are used to seeing, no one's gonna say anything weird to you.
Yeah.
You're just gonna get compliments and then you'll feel really good about yourself. So yeah, I just think practice makes perfect.
That's awesome. That's great advice. Okay, kind of switching gears a little bit. What is your least favorite fashion trend? And you kind of talked about it a little bit already.
Just on my story. Yeah, I've talked about it on my Instagram, but I hate the platform Ugg slippers.
Right. Those like
public.
kind of beigey ones.
Yeah,
right?
the hooves, as some people call them. Yeah.
Oh, hooves. That's a great
they're
way
just
of
like
calling
clunking
them.
around, but
Yeah.
they're
Those
so
are
comfortable.
Right
Yes.
now. Yeah.
And they're sold out everywhere. I mean, everyone wears them. They're very comfortable. I get the appeal, but to me, they're slippers, and you're wearing slippers out like on a dinner date, like or you're wearing slippers to the grocery store.
Yeah.
To me, I just think they should be worn at your house. Same with Crocs. Like I see Crocs as either so high fashion that you have to have a super weird, quirky sense of style to be able to pull off Crocs.
Yeah.
Or like the platform Crocs, or they're for gardening. And so just for like your average outfit, I don't know. And then growing up, my shtick was always, it's so funny now because here I am wearing sweats, but I was like, you should never wear sweats in public. You should never wear pajamas in public. And then 2020 happened and there was a huge sweats craze, which obviously
matching sweat sets
obviously
and all of the stuff.
The craze of matching sweat sets. And I mean, I love it. And it's very acceptable now. I feel like before it's like, why are you wearing sweats out in public? It was so weird. So I always made a big stink about that, and I obviously don't care anymore. But that's so it's mostly like wearing things out that feel like they are for your house. Yeah.
That's fair.
I personally just like getting dressed up to go grocery shopping or to run errands or to go to dinner, because I'm a stay-at-home mom and I wear gym clothes all day.
Right.
And I have one opportunity to get dressed. And so I'm going to get dressed.
Yeah,
and I'm going to look my best.
And feel beautiful. Yeah.
So it's a personal thing. Like,
yeah.
But I'm a sweat set girl. I'm a leggings girl because I go to the gym every day. So
yeah, exactly. That's funny. Do you ever watch Queer Eye?
Oh, I'm obsessed.
Yeah. So Tan France also hates Crocs, and it's so funny to hear him talk about it.
Yeah,
and
I felt very validated watching that.
Yeah. Good. Okay. What is your favorite fashion trend or clothing item?
Ooh.
Over the years.
It's so I love so much. Like I hate a bunch of things, but I really can see beauty in so many things. Mary Kate and Ashley have a company called The Row, and I feel like the style of The Row is becoming very, very popular and widespread. It's like super baggy and structured and not flashy at all. It's very kind of quiet, but the interest is in the silhouette and the textures of the clothing. It's like super low key but looks really elevated.
Interesting.
And I see a lot of people rocking like the style of The Row, and I'm obsessed with it. I think everyone looks good in that style because it just, you look rich, you look very put together. And like if I could choose a style for everyone, it would be that. It's like very, very sophisticated but comfortable too, because comfort's very important to me. So I like that. I like seeing when one of my clients, that's like their Pinterest board is full of like The Row and The Row inspired. I love it so much. I'm like, yes, you're gonna look so good. And I like that for me personally too. So that's the style. It's hard to pick a specific item. I love a very wide leg pant, like super wide leg. And really anything flowy with an interesting angle on it. That's what I've been into lately as I'm here in my LA Dodgers.
That's okay.
Henley. These are my comfies.
Those are timeless in my eyes.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's so cool. I'll have to look that up because I don't think I've ever heard of it. I know they've had like tons of businesses over the years. So
yeah,
but that's cool. Okay, switching gears a little bit actually this time. So you have recently had like a kind of glow up.
Yes.
As we all put it.
Yeah.
And to be clear, not that anything was wrong before.
No. Yeah.
But for me, as someone who's meeting you for the first time right now, it just seemed like a little bit of an appearance change, of course, but like your confidence though.
Yes.
It was like you just lit on fire all of a sudden. And so I feel like it needs to be studied. So can you talk to us about like what was kind of the catalyst that kind of like jump started all of that? Was it like getting hormones? Was it body? Like what was it?
Yeah. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about it because I love to talk about
of course.
it. And I am like,
we're all trying to achieve that here. So.
It's like I give permission to talk about like my appearance has changed. Yeah. And I think people obviously it can be a very touchy thing. Like, whoa, you look way hotter now than you used to. But like, I
agree.
Give full permission because it's true. And that, I mean, that was my goal. If people don't think that, then I didn't accomplish my goal. So I give full permission to be like, you got really hot.
Yeah.
But thank you so much. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I had my daughter in 2021 and at the same time my frontal lobe developed, and so I was 28.
You love it when that happens.
Yes. Truly life-changing. So 2 major life changes happened at the same time, the brain developing and being a new mom. And I just knew that I wanted something to change. I wanted to look different. I wanted to feel different. I wanted to tackle this next era of my life feeling and looking my absolute best, because people can get so lost in motherhood. And I just knew I wanted to stay on top of things and always feel like myself and always have my own thing. And so I feel like I always had kind of a unique sense of style, and I always wanted to look different. That was my goal. That's been my goal always. And maybe haven't always achieved that. I've like in high school, I would dress super basic, but probably because I served an LDS mission, and that's when I started going to college. And probably since that happened and I started going to fashion school and was surrounded by so many cool people with cool styles, I just wanted to look different. And that's when I started dressing in all black, because I was like, well, that's different and that stands out. And I don't know why I've always had this mentality of wanting to be so different. And so I had super, super long black hair, and that was like my whole personality. And one day I just chopped mini bangs and I chopped my hair. And so that was different for me. And then my dressing started becoming a little more like out there. And I just always had I just want to look different. And I think in that I lost my true identity because I was so focused on trying to look just different. I didn't really care if I looked good or not. I just wanted to make a statement. A statement and like an impression on people. And so having my baby really kind of woke me up to like, okay, it's time to get hot. And I've never felt uglier than I did postpartum. And so I wanted that for myself because I deserved to feel hot. And so I got everything in check. It probably wasn't until maybe 2 years postpartum until I started my fitness journey. And that I think is what really kickstarted everything. I was like, whoa, I'm capable of more than I ever thought, because I was so anti-gym. I never exercised. I never moved my body. I don't know why I was so anti. And then I just one day was like, no, I can't. I can do this. I need to like buckle up and just like stop thinking that I can't accomplish these things.
Do you think it was just like a fear-based thing, like a little bit of the unknown, or you just really didn't want to?
I don't know. I think like laziness was a huge part of it, because it's hard. Exercising is really hard. It's not easy, and I didn't want to do something hard. But I just knew, like, just be like getting older and becoming a mom and wanting to set myself up for success health-wise. Now that I have a kid, it just something changed within me. Something is not the same. And
she's through with playing by the rules.
And so so I started my health journey, and then I felt and I looked better. It just like I just did. Like that's just a matter of fact how I felt. And then I was like, okay, I gotta start. Like I just felt so motivated. Okay, I'm gonna get my hair in check. I'm gonna learn how to do my makeup. I'm gonna get my skin in check. I'm gonna really lean into my personal style. And I just think feeling and looking so terrible while pregnant and postpartum like kickstarted all of this to feel and look my best.
Nice.
Because
That's
every
awesome.
mom deserves that.
Yeah.
Everyone
You just-
deserves that, but especially when you're postpartum and
Yes.
you're in the trenches
Yeah.
of just like, ooh, it's so rough.
Yeah.
And so, I just...
Did you just, I'm a single Pringle. So can you talk about your postpartum journey a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay.
I never...
And whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
I'm an open book. I'll talk about anything.
Great.
I'm
just curious because I hear a lot of different people and a lot of different struggles and things like that. And I think it's kind of, I think more people are struggling postpartum than I think have in the past or maybe more people are talking about it now. I don't know.
I think so. Yeah. I think we're learning. We've never had so much access to social media and people's experiences, and we've never known so much, which is so good because I would have never known what to look for in postpartum. That was a red flag. And so I really armed myself with knowledge before I had my baby to be so aware of any postpartum red flags. But I did not have postpartum depression, but I immediately went back to therapy after, just to really get everything in check, make sure I was okay, because I knew it would be spooky. But looking back, I definitely had weird postpartum thoughts. When something about your hormones and the sleep deprivation creates these thoughts that feel so real to you that you don't even think they're weird. They don't feel like a red flag. So at the time, it was like I knew what to look for. But I was having these thoughts, like I genuinely thought my baby, I would hear a noise and I was like, well, she got out of her crib and walked down the stairs at 2 weeks old.
Okay.
So things that make zero sense. A lot of people think their baby somehow ended up in the oven or the washing machine, or their baby fell down the Grand Canyon when they live in England. Like really weird stuff. And it's very common. I had a viral TikTok about this, talking about thinking your baby was in the washing machine and just reading everyone's comments. It's so funny reading them back because it's like, that of course is impossible. But when you're in it, it feels so real. Like if my baby would be asleep in her crib and I had to let my dog out to go to the bathroom, I just fully expected her to be at the front door when I walked back inside. Like, makes no sense at all. So that, and the sleep deprivation is the hardest part. If you have like a pretty easy baby, the sleep deprivation will nearly kill you. It's so bad. But then if you have a hard baby on top of that, it's like a colicky baby who cries all the time. It's so rough.
Is that how yours was?
No, she was very normal. She had no health issues, no anything,
nice.
but the sleep deprivation. And then the weird thoughts, and then your hormones on top of it. It's just, and then my husband immediately had to go back to work, and so I have a great family support, but even then, like, nothing can give you more sleep. And nothing can fix your hormones right away. So but fixing my hormones helped a lot, and that was very recent for me. So I feel like I had my glow up journey, and that was kind of the last thing on my list that happened to get my health in order. And I mean, the best. I'm so grateful because I was losing so much hair. And that it's been 3 years since I had my daughter, and that's not normal. And so I was like, I gotta figure this out. So my thyroid, your thyroid is the centrifuge of your entire body. So if you feel like something's up, it's probably your thyroid. Get that shit checked out.
Totally. I don't go to the Avail place. Actually, well, I do their infrared sauna.
Oh, nice.
But I got a full blood workup done by a nutritionist, and one of my supplements is a thyroid thing, and then a couple other ones and stuff like that. But it's crazy And what pisses me off personally is that we're just learning this now.
Yeah. Or that people will get a panel done by their regular doctor and they're like, you're normal. But then you go to a specialist and then they dig a little bit deeper. And it's like, why isn't this like available for everyone? Why can't your regular doctor be able to see that? I think a lot of them can, but I just have talked to a lot of people where they had completely regular levels with their doctor and then would go to a specialist and nothing was right, actually.
Oh, yeah. Or they just, did a general something.
Yes.
And just didn't get into the actual detail stuff. Because I was looking at my labs and I was like, I don't know. I'm like scrolling through the small textbook and I'm like, I don't know what any of this means.
Yeah, you gotta have someone walk you through that. It's crazy.
Exactly. So yeah, I wish that we learned about thyroid.
I know.
Sooner.
I didn't even know. I had no clue that it could affect me at all.
Yeah. I didn't realize it was like such a big part of everything.
Oh.
Like I knew it could affect some things and I knew like they're like thyroid conditions or whatever, but like I didn't realize it like kind of controlled everything.
Yeah, I didn't know it correlated with your hormones, with your gut, like no clue.
Yeah.
Very spooky stuff.
Yeah, it is. And cuz I've studied the thyroid like with the voice, but it's
that's
like
crazy.
But not in a hormonal way though. It's like this is how it plays with your vocal folds or whatever. So anyways, it's just crazy. Well, that's awesome. So have you, since your glow up, have you like received more followers? Like how has your life changed other than your own personal like feeling great?
Yeah, like outwards, like my life outside of just me.
Has it changed at all? Or
I mean, I feel like I've been able to help a lot of people because people will come to me. I try to post about it as much as I can because I know a lot of moms are in the same boat and they want the same thing. And honestly, getting hot changes your life. It really it changes your life for the better.
Yeah.
And a lot of people want to experience that. And so I try to post about it a lot, but it's so iffy on TikTok. Like I've just never had a glow up video do super well. Sometimes I will, like I talk about just my eyebrow glow up alone. And a lot of people have commented on that, or my hair glow up because my hair is completely different. And honestly, I grew it out because I was getting bullied online a lot. And so sometimes bullies are correct. I'm really glad that they told me I needed to grow my bangs out.
Sometimes people need to be bullied, I don't
Sometimes
know.
I was one of them. Yeah, I was one of them. But yeah, I think I just hearing from some people, they've been able to kind of take the same journey and feel really good about themselves. So I just by sharing that it's okay to want to be hot. It feels really shallow. I was talking about this on my podcast. It feels so shallow, but like it's your life and you deserve to feel and look your best. If you have a goal to be hot, if you have a goal to have better skin or to learn how to do your hair, or like one of my goals was always have my nails done and be brave enough to wear a crop top. Like on my 20, that was my last year's goals. And of course it sounds so shallow and so stupid, but those things are important to me. It's like being able to fully embrace myself and feel my best. And I genuinely had the best year of my life after I had my glow up. Because when I looked my best, I felt like I could do anything. Yeah. And my career completely changed. My marriage changed. My friendships, like my online presence. Getting hot is great.
Yeah. Well, no, I love, you said it a couple times, but I love that you're like, it's all very shallow, and you're like, it's shallow. It's like, but it's okay.
Yes, it's okay.
It's, I get tired of like not feeling like I can talk about the things I want to improve. Yeah.
When it's your life.
Yeah.
It affects no one but you.
Exactly. And so I'm like, cause I've always wanted to lose weight, and I did lose weight, and then I gained it back. And so I'm working on that again. And I wish it wasn't such a taboo thing to talk about, because it's like I'm not healthy. Like I can feel like, of course, appearance, right? Of course I want to look and feel hot, but like also I don't feel good in this way, and so I love that you say that, and I think we need to make that a slogan. You should put it on your next shirt. I don't know. It's okay to want to be hot or something. I don't know.
Embrace being shallow.
Something like that, because it really shouldn't be taboo. And so it's like anytime in the past when I've been like, oh, I'm trying to lose weight or whatever, because I'm excited about it, because I love fitness. I love working out. It's the diet, which is like everyone's problem, right?
It's so hard.
But,
like that was the kicker for me. As like I exercised for a year and nothing, and then I got on a meal plan, and that's what did it. And that was like the hardest life change to make. I was vegan for 7 years, and overnight went to eating 200 grams of animal protein. And so it was so hard to learn how to cook and eat and everything. So it's so hard. Yeah. It's not fun.
And it's so much work. And
yes,
it's like, who has time? I don't know.
I know. You know? It's a huge privilege. You have to work extra hard. Like, I'm a stay-at-home mom. Right. And so I had the time.
Is the biggest job.
It is, but like still, like if you're in an office 9 to 5, it truly is harder than obviously being a stay-at-home mom is hard, but like I'm at home and I have time to cook every single meal and I have time to take her to the gym daycare and that's just my life personally. I know that's still a huge privilege, but it's if you're working in office 9 to 5 and like then you have to go home and you only have and you have kids and that's the time you get to see them, trying to fit in the gym and then cooking. It's so hard.
I know, it's crazy.
It's so hard.
So I just I wish it wasn't such a taboo thing. And people are always like they're always like, oh no you don't, blah 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 blah. I'm like, okay, but actually yes I do.
And it's my life. Like you can think that about me and that's great, but I don't think that about me. And I'm the one who's living my life
inside my body,
and it's the most important opinion that there is in regards to my life. So it's also personal too. Like when I'm at the gym and I know I have had this massive transformation and I look completely different to me than I did a year ago. But it's like I'm walking in the gym and I just look like your average Joe, you know? But I know that I have had a complete transformation and that I right now look the best that I've ever looked. Like, you have to know that your opinion is still the only one that matters. And sure, other people will notice and they'll say, oh my gosh, you look amazing and you act different and I can tell you're so much happier and you're glowing. But at the end of the day, you have to know that if you get zero external validation, you have to know that like you're proud of yourself and that you've made the changes, because your opinion is the only one that matters. Someone random looking at you, like anyone watching this right now watching me is like, did she get hot? I don't know. But like, I know the journey that I've been on and I feel like a different person.
And that's amazing. And I feel like that energy comes out of you. You know what I mean? And it makes you attractive. You know, like confidence is sexy.
It really is. Like it is such a real thing. It's crazy. Yeah.
So I love that for you. That is amazing.
Thanks.
May we all go through that.
I'm giving everyone permission to make shallow goals for 2025. You can do it. It's totally fine.
Good. I love it. So awesome. Okay. So, you've mentioned this a little bit, but you have, like your online presence has increased and then your like relationships have increased and stuff like that. So you're a part of that, like, girl group that I think I follow all of you individually.
Oh, they're the best.
And so because I found you through Bad Broadcast.
Yeah, most people do.
And which is what encouraged me to start this one. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, so super fun. So I love listening to Maddie's stuff. How did you guys find each other? And like Kylie and all of you people, like, how did you all find each other? Because you all like hang out and you just have all had these glow ups and you're just all killing it and like doing the sexy mom life.
It helps to also have friends who have similar goals, because me and my friend Maddie and my friend Claire, we all got on Emily's meal plan. Emily's the one who, she's been our like coach. We all did that at the same time, and so we all got in a group chat together. And it was so helpful to have each other to talk to and ask about recipes and tips and like workout programs and mom stuff on top of that. So to have friends with the same goals has just been so awesome and so much fun. And Ash too is in the group chat, and Ash is the one that inspired me to start working out. She's like gym queen and she just, my friends inspire me so much. But we all met we all have our own stories of how we became friends, but I mean, online. Me and Maddie became friends through Instagram, but we had mutual friends.
Okay.
And so I think that's, with so many of them, we had mutual friends.
Uh-huh.
And that's a big key indicator, I think, because people can kind of vouch for you, and then you know, like, oh, they're friends with this person. I love that person. I know I'm probably going to get along with them. So me and Maddie had a mutual friend, Chloe, who's one we met in college. And then me and Ash met because I made a tweet about her and it went viral. And then
That's nice.
I know, she messaged me, and then she started doing my lashes. So we've known each other forever. Kylie, I started selling her clothes on Moby Thrift when we very first started Moby Thrift. Claire, we met through TikTok. Like, so many of it. And Haley, I met her through Instagram and mutual friends. So a lot of us just mutual friends, but the internet has connected us. And then especially having our friend Claire, who's long distance. I mean, what would we do without our phones? We wouldn't be friends. And we Marco Polo. And to also have people who kind of are doing the same job as you. And again, my friend, they're huge influencers to me, and I look up to them so much, and I'm not on their level at all. And maybe one day, but I look up to them and I ask them for advice, and we're just each other's support group, you know? But my motto for making new friends, because people always ask us, like, they're always asking, like, how did you become friends? How can I be in on this friend group? Like, how can I do the exact same thing? Meeting friends online is so hard, and it is. But I always say, shoot your shot and read the room, because if you're messaging someone over and over, you're asking someone to hang out, and they're not giving anything back to you, you have to read the room. Like, you have to know the social cues and the indicators that it might not work out for you. And that's maybe nothing against not you, but the person that you're, it's not personal. Sometimes people can't take on another friendship in their life right now.
Right.
Sometimes maybe they're not feeling the vibe, even though you are. It has to be mutual. And
especially if it's like from scratch like that or something.
Yes, exactly. And like, you just kind of have to know how to tap into that. And I do think that some people don't possess that gift. Some people are like, or they take it super personal. I don't know, but it's kind of a skill to be able to make friends online. You just like really have to be able to read the vibe and know if your personalities are meshing. But
and just have courage.
Have courage. Yes, exactly. Because
like, I feel like we all overthink a lot, and I think social media has made everybody overthinkers now. Where it's like, oh, this is like the scariest thing I can do. And it's actually not. You know?
Yes,
it's
like just shoot your shot. You never know.
You have nothing to lose. Like, worst case scenario, like you said, they read the room, they're not reciprocating, whatever.
And then you're just already online friends.
Where you are.
You keep commenting on their stuff. Like, I just think there's a pattern. Like, if they follow you back, that's a great sign. If they start commenting on your stuff first, that's a great sign. And then, like, if you're doing the same, if they're messaging you back constantly, green flag. Like, there's so many things to look for where it's obvious, like, okay, this friendship might work out. And then if you keep trying to plan stuff in person and it's just not working, it's like, okay, maybe we're meant to be online friends only. If it works out in person and you're not feeling the vibe, it's like, okay, well, I gave it a shot and it's not going to work out, and that's totally fine. I just think there are lots of different roles of friendship, and sometimes it's just somebody that you DM, and sometimes it's just someone that you watch and you never talk to them, and sometimes it turns into an in-person friendship. Like, you just never know, but you gotta be self-aware. You gotta
I love read the room, please.
Yes, please.
And I think trying to force a friendship is always going to do the exact opposite of what you're wanting to do. And you also can't, like, acts of service or like buy your way into a friendship either. I have made that mistake. Teenage Tiffany did a lot of things for a lot of people. Trying to get something, not disingenuously to like get something back specifically, but then like looking back in my life and friendships and stuff, like, a lot of things have been very one-sided, and I would like do all this stuff for people and then they never do it for me, and I was like, oh, I see.
Okay.
So
it's sore, but and even that, like, that's a hard humbling lesson.
Yeah.
But it's also not always personal.
Right.
It was always meant to be that that your friendship didn't work out.
Right.
And so it's always for the best, even though it might sting a little bit. But
it sucked in the moment. But I'm like, if they're my people, they'd be my people.
Exactly. And I'm
so
so grateful for my friend group. But to get to them, I had a lot of failed friendships, and not even failed necessarily, but just things weren't meant to be, you know?
Yeah.
A lot of things that like attempted friendships, I should say. Yeah. That just didn't work out, and it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And friend breakups suck, but
they,
again, like you said, I think it's meant to be.
Always.
You know?
Always. And sometimes they come back, and that's great, but
yeah. But
always meant to be.
Setting a boundary
is
a good thing. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. This has been so great. Do you have any words of wisdom other than what you've already dropped that you would like to share with the people?
Oh, yeah. I would just, I always want to tell people, like, wear what makes you happy. If you're unhappy, I'm here to help you. Shoot your shot and read the room. And don't be afraid to be a little bit shallow, because it's your life and you deserve it.
You should make something that has all that on it. That's amazing. I love it.
Thanks.
Okay, and then where can people find you? You said you have a Patreon account.
Yeah. So my Instagram is Lucy B. Hutchins. And
is that your married last name?
It is.
Or is that...
I got very excited on my wedding night to have a new last name, and then I never actually changed it.
Okay.
So my last name is Bergstrom, and so sometimes you'll hear me go by Bergstrom. My Instagram is Hutchins. I've tried to make it known that my last name is Bergstrom, but I think it's very confusing that my Instagram is Hutchins.
Yeah.
And so I don't care what people call me.
Okay.
Legally, it's Bergstrom. My daughter's last name is Hutchins. But anyways, that's not important at all. Lucy B. Hutchins is my Instagram. Moby Thrift is my business.
And there's an Instagram account for that as well.
Just straight up Moby Thrift. And then...
with a Y this time.
Yeah, Moby with a Y. We changed it.
Yes.
I forgot to mention that we did change it from an I to a Y.
Was that just because you were going in a different direction, or... Yeah,
just because the Moby, since it wasn't mobile, didn't really make sense anymore, but Moby Thrift sounded really good.
Yeah.
So we just made our logo a whale, like Moby Dick.
I was gonna say, okay.
And then it's just Moby Thrift. So and then I do my Patreon. It's in my bio, and you can just click it to join. It's $13 a month for Instagram and podcasts, and it's 2 podcast episodes a month. 1 episode is always with a guest.
Oh, cool.
And then $10 just for the podcast. So it's pretty inexpensive, and it just helps me to be able to set aside time to work and feel like I'm getting paid for the job. And it's such a fun community. Like, the girls there are so amazing. We've done in-person stuff, we've done a bunch of bread classes, we've done movie nights, and I plan to do more stuff in person in the future. So it is like a community to make new friends, and I always do like a bestie of the month, and I introduce someone, and I talk all about them. I do styling for someone every month, and I still do.
Okay, cool.
I used to do like 2 or 3 people. Now I can only do 1, but I still do that. It's an incredible community, and I love it so much. So it's super fun if you're interested in another podcast. But that's it.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Lucy.
Thanks for having me.
Like I said, we just met just now.
Yeah.
Like an hour ago. So thank you so much for coming on.
Of course.
Please go follow Lucy. Go like all of her stuff. Help her provide and live her best life, because that's really what we're all wanting.
That's
frankly.
what we all want. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. I will see you guys next week. Bye. Remember to tune in every Wednesday for Well-Rounded Wednesday, and please leave a rating and a review.